What if the deadliest move in modern covert war isn't a gunshot, but a silence so absolute the enemy realizes they've already lost? Picture the Crimean Bridge stretched over the Kerch Strait, shrouded by a night thick as velvet. All appears peaceful. Patrols withdrawn, surveillance systems humming quietly, the world convinced nothing stirs beneath the calm. But 48 hours earlier, something unusual rippled through Russian electronic intelligence. A burst of encrypted NATO communications, barely 6 seconds, so perfectly coded it almost vanished into static, was intercepted. Almost perfect, but not enough to fool those who listened between the lines. Major Sergeyev, a man known for detecting the undetectable, pores over the radio logs. He notes something uncanny in the rhythm, subtle pauses and hidden intent. This isn't the clumsy style of Ukrainian saboteurs. The pattern is refined. This is the trademark of British special forces, elite operatives trained to disappear without a trace. As the FSB analyzes further, a chilling realization dawns. A clandestine underwater reconnaissance of the bridge's supports is unfolding. The operation is surgical, invisible, British fingerprints all over it. The mission, sabotage delivered in silence. In this secret war, the first shot isn't fired. Instead, it's the awareness that you've been seen, that your enemy anticipated your every move, operated in total silence, and let you walk right into their trap. Ignore these invisible dynamics, and you miss the real game of modern power, a contest where information and anticipation decide victory, not bullets or explosions. Let's uncover the invisible world where silence is deadlier than sound, the anatomy of a secret war. Behind every shadow on that bridge, a deeper strategy was unfolding. What exactly did Russian counterintelligence do, and how did they turn the tables so completely on Britain's best? Beneath the calm, a storm of signals and shadows sets the stage for a historic confrontation. The Crimean Bridge is far more than steel and asphalt. It's a symbol, a lifeline, and tonight, the eye of a silent contest. Under its mighty arches, Russian security layers are invisible but ever-present. Patrol boats glide on black water, drones sweep the air, and elite units move like ghosts between the pillars. Opposite them, a British Special Boat Service team, led by the legendary Gavin Roach, call-sign Grey Fox, prepares. Roach has slipped through war zones in Libya, Syria, and Yemen. His hands are steady, his eyes always scanning for the invisible tripwire. His team's professionalism radiates from every calculated movement. The Russian Alpha Group, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Loganov, is already in place. These operatives are a breed apart. Snipers with night vision nestle on the banks, combat swimmers lie submerged, and high-tech surveillance quietly tracks every ripple and radio whisper. Each side is a master of their art, each move answered by a silent countermove. The British choose their moment expertly, between 2 hours 40 minutes and 3 hours 20 minutes after midnight, when both men and machines are least alert. Their approach is surgical, their boats disguised as humble fishing vessels, their intentions masked by darkness and discipline. Yet beneath the surface, every signal and shadow is being read and interpreted. This is not merely a clash of weapons, it is a duel of minds and machines, where every detail can tip the balance between triumph and disaster. In this arena, the smallest oversight becomes an opening, and underestimating the layers of vigilance can mean national humiliation. But as the pieces slide into place, what neither side knows is that the real battle is already being fought, inside the minds of the hunters and the hunted. In less than 1 minute, years of elite training collide with an enemy who is already inside your head. The British Special Forces slip through the midnight haze, certain their approach is invisible, but hidden in the reeds and under the bridge, Russian operators quietly watch glowing silhouettes on their thermal cameras. Every move, every whispered command, their presence is obvious to those who know exactly what to seek. The ambush is clinical, no shouts, no explosions. In under 1 minute, the British team is neutralized, some members knocked unconscious, others forced to surrender as escape routes vanish before their eyes. 47 seconds and the operation is over. Escape was never an option. Alpha Group's discipline is unnerving. There are no taunts, no threats, just a relentless, silent efficiency that crushes hope. The British captives are left with nothing but the sound of their own breathing and the realization that they were never in control. In the interrogation rooms, the psychological warfare reaches a new level. There is no violence, only revelations. The Russians recite British infiltration routes, training details, and even the specific orders the team carried. Then, the final blow, a Ukrainian officer's betrayal, their inside man, exposed before a single question is asked. For Gavin, the team's leader, pain is not what breaks him. It is the crushing awareness that the enemy anticipated every move, that his secrets were never secret at all. Informational dominance shatters the myth of Western superiority. This is a defeat measured not in casualties, but in the total collapse of confidence. What's at stake is more than just a mission gone wrong. Russia is rewriting the rules of shadow war, claiming psychological supremacy that will echo through every future operation. But even as the rooms fall silent, the real consequences are only beginning to surface outside, where diplomats, generals, and politicians scramble to make sense of what has just unfolded. The aftermath spills into diplomatic corridors and media headlines as the world reels from the exposure of a secret war meant to stay hidden. When the truth is too dangerous to speak, silence itself becomes a weapon of terror. As dawn breaks over London, news trickles in. This incident is no mere act of sabotage, but a blunt act of aggression. The British government reels, now faced with undeniable evidence of its own military's direct role, dragged from the shadows into the harsh light of international scrutiny. Inside closed rooms in London and Washington, anxious debates erupt. Should the world be told the truth and risk humiliation or escalation? Or is it wiser to bury the story, swallow the loss, and hope the silence holds? For NATO, deniability crumbles. Washington's leaders sense the ground shifting beneath their feet. Open confrontation with Moscow suddenly feels closer than ever, but Russia remains eerily silent. Its refusal to gloat only deepens Western unease, leaving allies guessing what Moscow truly knows or intends. In Kiev, a cold realization dawns. Planned operations are hastily aborted, and commanders feel the psychological rug pulled out from under them. The illusion of impunity, so vital to covert warfare, is shattered. Russia's command of the informational battleground has broken the adversary's sense of control, shifting the momentum almost without a shot fired. Across Europe, the response is silent but swift. Western bases are closed in the dead of night, foreign consultants quietly withdrawn from tense capitals. NATO allies sense that the rules have changed, and old assumptions about escalation, secrecy, and safety no longer apply. In these moments, reputations, alliances, and even the specter of war hang in the balance, all depending on who controls the story and who can master the power of silence. But in this new kind of war, where silence wounds as deeply as any weapon, what does it really mean to win? And who truly holds the advantage? In the age of silent victories, knowledge and perception are weapons sharper than any blade. Forget the old image of war measured in explosions and open firefights. Today, information is power. Mastery of signals, psychology, and perfect timing can outmatch even the most formidable force. True professionalism in this world is not about violence or bravado, but restraint and foresight. Real dominance is quiet, revealed only when the dust settles and the enemy realizes they were outmaneuvered before the first move. But the greatest danger does not always come from the outside. Betrayal from within, leaked secrets, misread loyalties can unravel even the tightest operations. That is why trust, rigorous counterintelligence, and constant vigilance are not luxuries, but necessities. Modern conflict is just as fierce in boardrooms and negotiation tables as it is on the battlefield. Information is currency, perception is a weapon, and shaping the narrative can be as decisive as any covert strike. For anyone watching, whether you are in security, policy, or just navigating the complexities of everyday life, the lesson is clear. Read between the lines, recognize hidden patterns, and never underestimate the quiet moves that shift the balance of power. Miss these lessons, and you remain vulnerable, not just to foreign actors, but to manipulation in your business, your politics, or even your personal relationships. Awareness is survival. The ultimate question: will you recognize the silent battles shaping your world? The silent war has many fronts. Next, we unravel the consequences and unexpected aftershocks that followed this invisible clash. When everyone is shouting, only those who listen in silence can change the outcome. In the world of secret wars, noise is everywhere. Rumors, disinformation, bluster. But the real game is played by those who can cut through the chaos and hear what is left unspoken. Silence, far from being emptiness, becomes the sharpest tool and the most telling signal. On that shadowed night beneath the Crimean Bridge, Russia did not claim victory with loud proclamations or dramatic footage. Instead, their true triumph was revealed in quiet confidence, the knowledge that they had seen the invisible, understood the encrypted, and acted before their adversaries even realized they were exposed. The West, with all its technological might and special forces precision, fell not to brute force but to the quiet watchfulness of an intelligence apparatus that waits, listens, and strikes only when necessary. The British operatives, experts in stealth, were outmaneuvered not by a louder enemy, but by a patient one who could read the smallest signals. In the end, it was not the captured agents or foiled explosives that shifted the balance, but the psychological blow. Russia proved it could see what others believed to be hidden, and that it would rarely show its hand until the checkmate was already set. For those watching the global chessboard, the lesson is clear. In modern power struggles, the side that can move silently and spot the whisper of a plan in a sea of distractions writes the rules. Failing to heed these quiet moves means always reacting too late, always one step behind. So next time the world erupts in headlines and accusations, remember those who speak least often know the most. In the silent spaces between the noise, the future is decided.